Our very special guest here now is Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul. He's congressman from Texas. Congressman Paul, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I want to talk about your monetary hearing in just a moment, but politics are swirling around, if you'll permit me. Rick Santorum finally endorsed Mitt Romney last night. Congressman Paul, when will you endorse Mitt Romney?
Well, I'm still thinking about that. Not soon, because I'm still working very hard to maximize the number of delegates. And if you watch the news every weekend, we seem to do a lot better in picking up the states. You know, it may turn out that we're going to end up winning Iowa, and we've won a couple of these other states. So I'm not thinking about that as much as what kind of a presence we'll have, how many people we're going to have there, and what kind of an influence we can have on the platform in Tampa.
Well, there are a lot of reports that you're picking up delegates, particularly in these caucus states. But I want to ask you, I mean, what's the end game here? Do you want to try to deny Mitt Romney the nomination? Do you want to exact some policy or political price for your endorsement? Tell me the end game, sir.
Well, I don't know the end game yet because the votes haven't been counted. No, my goal isn't a negative goal. That is to stop somebody. My goal is to do my very best and to galvanize the support I have, because you do know that we're getting tremendous turnouts. We can get from 4, 5, even up to 8,000 people on campuses, and they're very concerned and very worried. So I want to take that and make sure it comes out in a positive manner to change policy. So we're very much involved in policy. So the longer I'm in it, the more delegates we have, the more presence we have, the better chance we're going to have to return to sound money and a more sensible foreign policy, and maybe do something with this deficit one of these days.
Have you spoken to Mitt Romney, particularly about your goals of sound money and the Austrian free market model? I would think Romney is sympathetic. I mean, have you spoken to him and said, Governor, I'd like to see these things in the Republican platform? Has that been going on?
No, it really hasn't. We haven't had that opportunity. We ran into each other a lot during the campaign, but most of it's been very friendly, more family-oriented conversations, but never anything into a deep discussion. And of course, on the surface in the debates, I found out, as he probably did too, that we don't have a whole lot of precise agreements, you know, on our platform when it comes to foreign policy or monetary policy, but you know, maybe tax policy. But we're more, it's more about it than just tax policy. I mean, we want to deal with the role of government and what we're supposed to be doing in this deficit horrendous, and how that is connected to the monetizing of debt by the Federal Reserve. And we think we should deal with a foreign policy change as well.
There's a Rasmussen poll out today, Congressman, of likely voters. They included you as a third-party candidate. It's a three-way tally. Mitt Romney gets 44%, Barack Obama gets 39%, Ron Paul gets 13%. I ask this question, sir, because in our prior interviews, you have said to me quite plainly that you were not anticipating a third-party run. Is that still your point of view?
Yeah, I don't have any plans for that, but I think the interesting thing there, if you extrapolate, it looks like some of my votes come from the independents and the Democrats, and they're all, the Republicans always worry, would he run third party, and what would it do to the party I have to endorse, because I don't want to ruin the Republican Party. The plain truth is this philosophy of freedom and individual liberty and limited government is appealing to independents and moderates and even progressive Democrats when it comes to civil liberties and foreign policy. So there's nothing automatic about my appeal only being to Republicans. Quite frankly, I thought that was an interesting poll. The only thing is we've had a couple other polls where I do even a little bit better than that one.
Let me ask finally on money and sound money and the dollar and gold. These are things that you and I both hold dear, as we've discussed down through the years. In your hearing today, did you present your bill to abolish the Federal Reserve?
I did. We didn't concentrate on that because we had two other members of Congress, and we had a total of 6 bills to deal with. We had a broad discussion. One thing it did, it sort of drifted into the discussion on how you make the FOMC, how you make it up, and whether or not they are approved by the Senate. But also there was a big discussion about the dual mandate, which, you know, about both unemployment and pricing. That is less interesting to commodity standard people because we let the market deal with that. But we had two professors there that defended commodity money. I thought it was fantastic. One thing that there seemed to be an agreement on was no matter which part of the political spectrum or economic spectrum they came from, everybody seemed to be very concerned about world economy, especially in Europe, on what's going on right now. And of course, we in the Austrian school believe it has a lot to do with central planning through the central banks.
All right, Congressman Ron Paul, thank you very much for your time, sir. Good luck in all that you do.
Thank you.